Greg Lewis, Metastock Software. As the marketing director, I get asked all the time, what is Metastock? How can I help my trades? Well, stick around for about 3 minutes and I'll tell you. Metastock is an award-winning software and data package that has been helping traders for over 35 years. Simply put, Metastock is a tool for traders like you to analyze the markets. Metastock helps you take the guesswork out of trading by offering a methodical, systematic approach to some key questions all traders come up against. Questions like, how do I decide which securities to trade when there are literally thousands to choose from? Which strategy should I use, and how do I test that strategy before spending my first trading dollar? When should I enter and exit a trade? How can I effectively manage the securities I'm interested in? And of course, how do I know where prices will go next? At the core of Metastock are the Power Tools. The Power Tools give professional-grade analysis tools to private traders like you and me. You can scan the market with the Metastock Explorer to filter and sort securities that show buy and sell signals based on your criteria. The Metastock System Tester lets you test most strategies through a process called backtesting, which allows you to see how your strategy would have performed over time. You can easily manage and monitor the securities you are interested in with Quote Center. Quote Center lets you sort on a variety of criteria to view the data that's important to you. Then just double-click on a security if you want to see its chart. With the Metastock Forecaster, you can even take advantage of patented technology to view probable future prices. If you're an options trader, you're going to love Metastock's OptionScope. OptionScope puts all the critical info at your fingertips, displaying sortable, customizable, color-coded options data, including the Greeks. And Metastock has solutions for traders of all levels and interests. If you're just getting into trading, you will appreciate the education offered by our many built-in systems. In addition to pointing out buy and sell signals, Metastock explains how they work in an easy-to-follow commentary window. Metastock has built-in systems based on popular strategies like MACD, Bollinger Bands, turtle trading, candlesticks, and many more. Metastock even has the very popular and exclusive Rahul Mohindar Oscillator System, or simply known as the RMO. And as you become a more experienced trader, Metastock grows with you. Advanced analysts will enjoy the comprehensive list of trading systems and indicators and the ability to build their own systems. And if you're a day trader, you can't do better than Zenith, the real-time news, data, and analysis package offered by Refinitiv, a world leader in market data. Add on the world-class support, and it's not hard to see why Metastock has won the Stocks and Commodities Reader's Choice Award for 26 consecutive years. To find out more about Metastock and how it can help your trading, visit metastock.com or contact a product professional via phone, email, or chat.
Okay, there's an introduction into Metastock, who we are, what we do. So we are so glad to have you here again today for this Market Digest with Sagar Nandi. He's going to be talking about what's going on in the markets, kind of giving an overview, taking a look at everything that's kind of pertinent in the markets right now. And there is a lot going on in the markets right now. So this is a great opportunity to sit down with a market expert. Be ready with some questions. Pencil down some questions. Feel free to put them in chat, and we'll be sure to ask Sagar the questions as he has some time as he's doing his analysis. So make sure that you're doing that as we go through. We've got about 2 minutes before we get started. We are doing something a little different today. We are actually on YouTube, but we're actually on Facebook, and we're actually on Twitch. So we're kind of multitasking a little bit today. So I'm juggling a little bit of that. So welcome today again. I'm going to go ahead and just check and make sure everything's running smoothly in the background, and I'll be right back with you before we get started. Okay, we are looking solid. So we are just about ready to go here. About 30 seconds. Again, as you come in, say hello, tell us where you're coming in from. We're enjoying life here in beautiful Salt Lake City. We'd love to hear where you're coming in from. But let's go ahead and get this party started and talk a little bit about the markets. So, welcome.
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Bobby Hiller with Metastock, our business development team over here. And today I'm excited to have Sagar Nandi on, and he's going to be doing a market digest or market recap. We used to do these videos a while back, and we decided to pick it up again with a little bit of a different theme. And Sagar's always done some really good presentations. He has a great view of the markets, and he's been a Metastock expert for going on 15 plus years now. And before we jump too far into things, though, I do have to go through our disclaimer here. This demonstration, it is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and the accompanying software plugins, and it's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading, and Metastock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. And with that said, I'm actually going to just pass things over to Sagar and let him do his thing here today.
Hi, Bobby. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Sagar, I can hear you. And I think I just made you the presenter. So you should be able to share your screen.
Yes, and every time I need some help with which screen am I sharing? Are you?
Yeah, so I see you have like a green notes.
Green notes? No.
Like, and the mountains in the background.
Could you tell me how I can change the screen?
Yeah, so if you see the go to webinar at the top bar, yes, it should say sharing, and there's a little arrow you can click down. And then under show screen, you can click an arrow there, okay, and then choose the screen you want to show.
Okay, now you can see my presentation front page. Okay.
Secrets behind the success of Qtrade.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Greetings, everybody. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Kelly. And I see Jeffrey is also there on the chat. It's my great pleasure to join everybody today for several reasons. One is, of course, Metastock came out with the greatest release, Metastock 18. And secondly, we just are in a period where people seem to say that it is very difficult to trade. I follow several traders. Some of them are great traders. They are profitable traders. Even they are and were saying it is difficult to trade. However, I have a different result, and this result is not based on hypothetical data, historical backtesting, or looking back analysis. This data is based on the trade ideas that I shared on public forums. That is my website, sagarnandi.com, and my YouTube channel, some of them I might have mentioned on my YouTube videos 100% before knowing the result. And I tracked the performance of those trade ideas. And the result is probably surprising. I tweeted the result, I updated the result as of today's market close. I will go through the summary statistics. I will open the individual trades links, at least some of them, and show how the trades were analyzed at the point they were suggested. And I might have taken some, if not all of those trades, probably few more than I shared on Twitter and my website. Now, if the success rate was surprisingly high, what was the secret? What was the secret? The secret to the people who use queue systems is actually no secret. It's just keep on using the same system, same technique that you use all the time. There was no secret. However, if someone was not using the powerful as well as simple technique that I use, then they may find some secrets. And that secret is here probably. The trades that I shared, they were looking at technical analysis to find low risk buy points or short points. They looked at my market bias. Now, how did I decide market bias? Later on, if I have time, I'll go into that using today's live market. I also looked at sector industry rotation to decide that if I am going to buy, which industry am I going to buy into? It will be the strongest industries. Usually I focus only on the top 20%, or the most accelerating industries. Industries that were behind earlier, but now starting to come up very fast, like in car racing or horse racing. Then I looked at fundamentals, which I simplified. I looked at stocks that are undervalued or have high earnings growth, preferably even high revenue growth, and sometimes for probably some people of interest, high dividend paying stocks. And I did look at even seasonality of the stocks. By doing that, I was aligning the forces from technical level, market level, sector industry level, fundamental level, seasonality level, that gave the trades that were truly high probability and truly low risk, even in the current market condition. Now, that is the approach I follow all the time. That is the Q guidelines all the time. So to Q traders, there is no success. But if I look at the statistics, probably non-Q traders will find some pointers what to do to improve the results. Disclaimer, this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I'm not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk, even only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. I may mention about options trading from time to time. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from Options Clearing Corporation to decide option trading is suitable for you or not. I am using Metastock for decades, and over the years, I used other programs also. And as time is going by, I am reducing the programs one by one. One thing that is always there on my desktop and laptop is Metastock. And now it is on version 18. And Q is my own system that is able to do all those analyses that I mentioned. Sector industry rotation, fundamental peer analysis, technical analysis, seasonality analysis, market analysis. Now, I could not develop Q without Metastock. Is it just a charting platform? It is a very powerful charting platform, but much more than that. Is it just a platform that can find or explore for stocks? If you like Metastock Explorer, you will see how Q has supercharged Metastock Explorer. If you like Metastock charting, you will see how Q has created custom built templates and layouts, everything ready-made for a trader. If you like Fire, that aggregator platform that is addendum to Metastock, probably Q has used Fire like no one else has ever done. Now, why I avoided using other platforms gradually, but not Metastock? Because I asked myself, if I had to live with only one underlying platform, only one underlying data source, which one will that be? And the answer was unequivocal, only one, Metastock, and now Metastock 18. And I will demonstrate that. This is not a session on Q systems. I will go through many things from different dimensions. For a new Q trader, it may be too many things to look into. What you may just remember that across all the dimensions, fundamental, industry, technical, green, cyan is bullish, red, magenta is bearish, yellow is neutral. Now Q has different programs. I will not go through it. This is being recorded. It will be on YouTube. Later on, you may look at the actual systems that are based on the Metastock platform and Zenith data. That was the last slide. Let's now continue with the live system. What I'm going to first share is the summary that I created of all the trade ideas that I shared publicly before knowing the results. These were the trade ideas I shared in the month of March, current March. Total ideas 22. Okay, let's look at the graphs. Total ideas 22. 5 did not confirm. 17 confirmed. Now, what do I mean? As I go along, I'll explain what these concepts mean. You may or may not use Q systems, but the concepts are applicable to everybody. What does it mean scratched and confirmed? On my website, sagarnandi.com, if you go to Learning Center, there is a category trade checklist. Under trade checklist, there are 4 trade setups. 4 setups, but only one for one market condition. Box for sideways market, bounce for exhausting, headwind for reversing market, flow for trend following markets. Now they have unambiguous checklists, and the checklists are to be applied near the market close. Scratched idea means that I anticipated a possible trade during the day and shared it, but at the close, it did not confirm when I applied the checklist. So the trade was scratched, means Q traders would not take the trade. And the confirmed trades means at the close of the day, the trades were confirmed. In Q techniques, we don't have to wait for the next day. We could take the trade on the day itself. So 17 out of 22 were confirmed. The percentage is 77 confirmed, 23 scratched. Now in the top right hand graph, there is something interesting, and that is probably one of the secrets why the trades I shared, others, at least non-Q users, found it difficult to find. Out of the 22 trade ideas I shared, trend following trades were only 10%. Range breakout trades, these are not Ken Slim kind of breakout trades that is breaking out from cup and handle. These are range breakout or trend line resistance breakout. That was about 40%. And 50% of the trades were reversal types. I showed you the different trade setups. Box is actually a reversal setup, bounce is a reversal setup, headwind is a reversal setup, but for different market conditions. And one of the secrets when I created the summary, I thought to myself, why others could not find the trades easily is that many people are focused on only trend following trades. However, what was the current market direction? If we look at the weekly charts, Why don't we do that? What is the current market direction? Let's use market ETFs. Let's use SPY. Let's look at it using weekly, daily, and you will see how easily I am navigating between different templates and different systems. Weekly, daily, S&P 500 ETF. In the weekly, it is coming down. Therefore, the overall trend is downtrend. When it is in a downtrend, many traders are not trying to find trades because they are trying to find only trend following trades. They may be looking for canceling IBD kind of trades, but these breakouts are not canceling breakouts, they are range breakouts. It's not easy to draw trend lines effectively. Q systems have trend lines that are drawn automatically, smartly. Some of them may come from 10 years back, some from 10 days back. These are robust and powerful trend lines, and therefore when they are broken, they are also powerful signals that is used in the breakout setup. And large number or percentage, 50% were actually reversal trades. That's, I think, one of the secrets that I could share many trade ideas while others were not finding trades. And you can see this from the bottom middle graph also. Market was overall in a downtrend. It is still in a downtrend in the weekly interval, but see the bias or direction of the trades I shared. 91% of the trades that I shared were bullish trades. Bullish trades, and now you can combine. They were bullish but reversal kind of trades, not trend following. Bullish but breakout kinds of trades. How many of those or percentage of those trades are closed by now? 82% are closed, 18% are in progress. How much percentage is profitable? 88%. This may lead some of you to think that how was it possible? Each and every trade that I shared, they built on that powerful concept of aligning as many forces as we could. This is the summary, and this step has the detail. I'd like to go through, there are 22 trades. I'll go through some of them. By the way, if you want to have a look at this Excel, I have uploaded it in the cloud. Let me share the link on the YouTube chat panel. The file will be available there for a while. What you have here is the date when the trade was first shared. Always before knowing the result, the symbol. Let me point out date when it was first shared, either on Twitter or on my website, the symbol, bullish or bearish, country, USA or India. 70% plus, I think 72% of the trade ideas I shared were on the USA market, rest were on India. So mostly 72% it was on USA market. Type of trade I mentioned, reversal trend following or breakout. This was the 360 degrees analysis. I will go through it in more detail later, whether the trade made a profit or loss and status closed with profit or still in progress. And the preferred instrument. Q techniques is not just a matter of using the systems. There is an approach, workflow, and preferred instrument. Sometimes the preferred instrument can be short put, sometimes stock, sometimes short put vertical. I have mentioned that also. You will notice never did I mention about long naked call, long naked put, because I am not trying to use the leverage of naked options. Those are very risky instruments. I don't trade them. I don't suggest trading them. All these trades could be taken with stocks, and sometimes if you wanted to have volatility also as a friend, you could use short put or short put vertical. And last column has the link of the website post for that trade. Let's look at some of the analysis. 17th March, I shared PayPal. Look at the analysis. High volatility stock at weekly long-term trend line support, daily headwind reversal signal. That's the technical analysis. It's a reversal setup, reversal signal. Fundamentally, funds were accumulating it. In terms of industry sector rotation, it was in a strong industry. We'll shortly go to the actual link and look at that. But I want to show you the similarity between all the trades. Let's take randomly another one. RHIM in India market. Let's look at the analysis. Bounce from daily trend line, introducing intraday chart. That's technical analysis. It has increasing earnings growth and fund accumulation. That's fundamentals. Industry strong. Let's go down. Let's look at FRG. In the USA market, technically it had a breakout setup. Fundamentally undervalued, high earnings growth and high revenue growth, and fund accumulation is there. Industry-wise, strong and accelerating industry. Once you download this file from the YouTube chat panel, you may go through the trades, click the links at the right, and see exactly how they looked like when the analysis was done. Not after profit was booked, not after loss was booked. Now let's look at different kinds of trades. And after that, if I have time, I hope I have some time, I'll go through the live market. But let's try to unearth the secret behind this 88% success rate of trades I shared before knowing the result in this month. Why don't we start with a trade that made a loss? FBP. Let's click on the link, go to the website page. And open here. It was shared 19 days ago, 2nd March. I think that was the first trade I shared in the month of March. The website, of course, has trades that I shared for months and months and years and years. I just accumulated the trades from March because everybody seemed to find it difficult to trade in this month. So 19 days ago, FBP, I look at the snapshots. And this is what I saw when I shared the idea. I wouldn't know whether it made profit or not afterwards. Industry score, the industry was regional banks, jumped from 7 to 133. I don't usually look at the numbers, just look at the shapes of the bars. So it was accelerating heavily. In terms of industry performance, it was up by 2.6%. That is significant. If you looked at alternative industry, which is also same in the case, banks, high rank increase, up. These were the live snapshots I shared on that day. And this is using the industry rotation table, regional banks industry on 2nd March. You see, it was as of this time. Why I love Metastock and Metastock Zenith is everything is real time. And not only for the USA market, I did it exactly the same way for India market. You could do it for China, Hong Kong, Australia, Germany, UK, any global market. That's why I love Metastock Zenith. The data is the lifeblood. I just looked at the tables, color codes. Remember what I mentioned? You don't have to understand all the things now, that will take hours, but see the real-time strength of the industry, top 20%. Whenever there is a checkered background, it's not only strong, it is top 20%. And the base column is acceleration. That is also top 20%. So one glance was telling that we may look into regional bank stocks. And this is the vital fundamental scorecard. I found FBP. It was at that time up by 3%. I'm going to point to the key figures. Dividend yield 3%, non-negligible. Undervalued stock. high earnings growth, funds are accumulating. As of that time, in real time, that's in the morning session before 10 a.m., 98% of the peer stocks were up. And this was value stock with growth with fund accumulation. So fundamentally, it was telling me that I could buy it provided it had a technical trade setup. These trend lines are drawn automatically. Everything here is drawn automatically. This is the weekly daily. Weekly daily. In weekly, it came right to the trend line support and stopped there. In daily, it came right to the trend line support, started going up from there. After hitting extended oversold condition. I'm not going to go into detail. Is jump thrust extended oversold condition with bearish pressure on this candle, which was bearish exertion. Right next day, it went up from the trend line support with a bull release signal showing bulls were starting to take control. So we had exertion and price was starting to go up. I suggested buying at that point. Stop would be just below trend line support. One thing you will notice, all the trades had narrow risk. Stop loss was nearby. And I could book profit if price went to the trend line resistance. So I had attractive reward risk ratio. This is what I saw. This is how I shared the idea. This trade did not work out. I followed through later. This was the day I shared the idea. Here was the trend line support. 2 days later, it sharply broke below the trend line support. The stop loss was somewhere here. The exact stop loss level was decided using Q protection signal. That was it, and my trade was out with a small loss as per the plan. So this was a trade that came out with a loss. That is fine. I am not trying to show the trades or because I shared the trade ideas months and months, years and years. I don't know which one will make profit, but see the similarity in the analysis. That is the secret behind the success of the trade. So that was a loss-making trade. Fine. Let's look at a trade GGB. Actually, if you would like me to look at any of them at random, I'll be happy to do that. Anyway, you have the file. You may go through them later. This one I shared 4 days ago, GGB, 4 days ago, 17th March. Look at the analysis again. It had a flow setup, that is a trend following setup. As of the time I shared it, the stock was up by 5.5%. It also had a gap up open 3.6%. And it had some additional signals. I am not going to go through all the signals. Look at the industry analysis. Steel industry of the stock. Once again, top 20% strong, real-time score by the way, and some acceleration, not enough. I bought it based on the strength of the industry. Look at the similarity in the fundamentals analysis. And dividend yield, great, 10.5% dividend yield, undervalued stock, great earnings quality, very high earnings growth, high revenue growth. So when I have undervalued stock with high earnings growth, high revenue growth in the last quarter, I call them diamonds in terms of fundamentals. Funds were accumulating. If you were interested, analysts were bullish. 77% of peer stocks were up. So I suggested the buy. How did the chart look like? The weekly candle shape and color were both bullish. It was going up after displaying high bullish momentum. Bull move up 3. In the daily, it made a higher high, higher low, and it gave me the optimal buy point shown in the ribbon and also the color of the candle. That was a flow or trend following long trade setup. And I would like to book profit somewhere around the watermark, this pivot resistance just above that. How did the trade work out? Today, in fact, I shared the idea on this day. Next day, it had another strongly bullish candle. Today, it gapped up at the open above the watermark resistance. It covered the risk distance, and Q techniques has a mathematical basis. That is, if we have enough success rate, 1:1 reverse risk ratio, we can keep on trading. So it hit the initial profit target, and all those are calculated in Q diary. I maintain a diary that shows P&L in real time of all the trades, success rate. It shows bullish trades, bearish trades, etc. It alerts me also of when the profit target is hit or stop loss is hit. I use the diary, and I also put my orders as GTC, one cancel, other orders. So that was hit today on GGB. So this trade was closed. Let's at random look at some trade. Let's look at some India trade. The exact same technique can be used in any country so long as the stocks are liquid. Let's look at this stock, PREG, a real estate stock. I shared it 6 days ago. Let's go to the top. 6 days ago on 16th March. And in fact, here is a tweet actually. I tweeted about it probably 1 day ago. Let's look at the tweet. Sometimes I tweet about it first. 15th March, so 1 more day ago. When I tweeted about it, it was about to break out of this trend line resistance. That was the daily chart. And in the intraday chart, it was going up from the trend line support. So if you were alert trader and if you had real-time charts, you could actually buy it near the trend line support itself, putting stop just below the trend line, very narrow stop loss. Anyway, I tweeted about it on that day, and what I mentioned in the tweet is on the right-hand side. This stock is something that funds are accumulating. It is in a strong accelerating up industry. So again, I looked at fundamentals, looked at industry. You could buy this stock precisely using the Q charts. You could identify it using top-down analysis. Let's look at the detail analysis. This stock's industry, see the similarity once again. This is India market, real estate development industry, top 20%, top 20% accelerating, up by significant percentage. Industry was strong. The stock was up by 4%. It was steadily going up over 5 days, 2 days, 1 day, and in real time. Great earnings quality, high growth stock. Earnings growth is high. Funds are accumulating. Analysts are bullish. 100% of peer stocks were up as of that time. All done in real time. And remember, in the tweet first, I told that it may break out of the trendline resistance. And now you see the weekly daily. What was the basis of initiating the trade? Probably a bit early using intraday chart. That was because it came to weekly trendline support. Those hold very well. Then it displayed a bull release signal. Bulls were taking control. The weekly candle color turned bullish, cyan is bullish, after 7 weeks. And the relative performance relative to the India market in this case was stronger, bullish. In the daily, what were the signals? There was a false downside breakout. Price went below this watermark pivot, stopped out weak hands and reversed. It had reached low jump, extended oversold condition. Then it was exhausted also because of the big move down 3. When exhaustion comes at jump thrust low, usually price may reverse, and it created a false downside breakout. It was coming out of a squeeze as well, volatility squeeze. It broke the trend line resistance, and the candle color, if you can see here, turned bullish also. So there were plenty of supports in weekly, bullish momentum in weekly, daily, and in daily it was breaking out of trendline resistance. So the anticipation came true. That was PRAG, and in fact in 2 days it hit the initial profit target when the risk distance was covered, and I booked partial profit. Later on it might have gone up more. We may look at later on whether it has gone up more or not is not something to ponder about too much, because there is a mathematical basis of this technique. I'm looking at it, but remember, whether it went up later or not doesn't matter. You would have booked the profit. It went to the upper boundary, usually their price stops, and by that time we had covered more than the risk distance. So this was another trade I shared before knowing the result that also exited with profit. Now the mathematical basis that I talked about, what is that? If I once again go back to my home page, go to Learning Center, Trading Systems and Philosophy, Q Philosophy of Swing Trading Stocks. This is a very important slide. Let's say I am taking 4 trades in a week. Then in a year, I'll take 200 trades. If my success rate is 60%, then out of 200 trades, 120 trades will be profitable, 80 trades will be loss making. Therefore, net, I'll have 40 profitable trades. If I risk 1% of my total account size in each trade, and I accept 1:1 reward risk ratio, from these 40 net profitable trades, my annualized return on total capital, not invested capital, on total capital will be 40%. So what did I need to achieve 40% annualized capital trading stocks? I needed to take 4 trades in a week, so about 16 trades in a month. I needed to have 1% risk in each trade, that is entirely in my control. Average reward risk ratio, I could decide it on the chart. I would not take it if the attractiveness is not there. And the key thing is the success rate. Are we able to achieve 60% success rate? What I showed just now, based on the ideas I shared before knowing the result, the success rate for the trades in March were much higher. How much? 88%. Now, if you go back to the same slide, maybe there are other slides with higher success rate. This is 65, this is 70. This is not anywhere close to 88. At 70% success rate, keeping all the other parameters same, the annualized return on total capital becomes 80%. And one thing to note, these slides have nothing to do with Q systems. It's just a mathematical calculation. Whether you are using Q systems or not, what we may aim at is what is the success rate by risking small amount in each trade and average reward risk ratio. Now, you may imagine or you may calculate that if success rate is 88%, where this will go to. Now, is there any catch in this slide? No, it's pure mathematics. What a swing trader like me is trying to do is take small trades and try to get high enough success rate. That's all, in any market condition. That's another important thing. If I am using a technique that tells me not to trade in the month of March, I will not lose money. That's also not bad, but I will give up a lot of profitable trades. So that is the technique and approach that I use. I'm going to close this summary Excel, the trade list now. Now let's see how we can look at today's market. And if you want me to look at any stock, I'll be happy to do that. The systems that I'm going to look at are the Q systems on Metastock only those two pairs together. Let's start with something I always like to look at every day. A very powerful graphical representation of sector, industry, stock, advanced decline breadth starting from 1 month to 10 days to 5 day to 2 day to 1 day. And then in real time. This is actually today. During market hours, you will see the leftmost column is keeping on changing. This transition is important. And because of this transition information, and it's also internal insight in a way, it's not just looking at market ETFs, drilling into the sectors, industry stocks, showing how they are performing in terms of breadth. This is another secret. Recently, I carried out the master classes and I mentioned that Q traders are able to catch the market or swing top or bottom more accurately, more often than most traders is because of this. We don't just look at the external view, we have the internal view that shows the insights in 100% real time. All these are in 100% real time. And if you look at my YouTube videos every weekend, I do a market recap. It's there for many years. Now, in this last weekend's report, if you see, what did I mention there is that I was not taking any new trades. I was closing the trades I was taking. And most of those happened to be long trades, as you saw. In fact, among all the trades I listed in March, shared publicly, I think only GE was a short trade, General Electric, and that exited with a profit. That was a trend following short trade. In India market, the few trades I shared, all were bullish trades. Now, importantly, in the market recap this weekend, when many people turned actually bullish, I mentioned I'm not buying anymore. I'm booking profit. I was once again ahead of others enough to catch the market at the perfect time. I was not buying today. I was not even planning to buy today. That I mentioned during the weekend recap. And it turned out to be useful, aka also known as profitable in trading. I didn't have to take any hit from the market coming down. You can see today 73% sectors were down, 71% industries were down, 64% of stocks were down. So this is one insight that is behind the secret of those success. I also look at a graph called bucket analysis, how the S&P 1500 stocks are distributed across their respective Bollinger Band. You can see it's still mostly on the right half, and mostly green color also you can see. So it's still bullish, and 73% of stocks are above the mid Bollinger Band. More are actually on the upper half of their respective Bollinger Bands. So that is bullish. It is still bullish, but today's picture is bearish. Yesterday, the sector industry stock breadth was bullish. So we had a transition from bullishness to bearishness today. Today, 3 sectors went up, 8 went down. Which ones went up? Energy, the red bars are for today. Materials and utilities. Utilities is a defensive sector. Materials, non-defensive. Energy may be going up because of the war in Ukraine. All the other sectors went up. Infotech went down. Infotech, industrials, healthcare, financials, consumer staples, consumer discretionary, communication services. Some of them defensive, some of them non-defensive. That's a market level view that I saw. And all those things are going to get accumulated. This is just some analysis at the market level. Remember, we are looking at market, sector, industry, fundamental, technical, in any order. We could start from technical, go up, start from market level like I'm doing now, go down, or we could start with fundamental, any workflow you could implement. Now, this is one view of the market. Let's see some other important views that are possible only probably because of Q running on Metastock. Let's look at the global market. I will not look at individual markets, but this is a custom index built using Q on Metastock and Fire. Fire is an add-on of Metastock. Beautiful aggregator. This is a global index. This is a daily chart. Global index, daily chart. It is also coming down. If you followed my Twitter ideas, if you followed the website ideas, I was buying here. I booked profit here. It was and still is in a downtrend. I took reversal trades right at the bottom based on the bullish indecisions that came, based on the bull release that came, based on the fact that it was at jump thrust low, overly extended to the downside, based on the fact that it had bullish pressure, bullish U-turn, and then price candle started to turn bullish. This is a global index, but that insight was useful for me to start to look for bullish trades here, not here. Then I looked at something extremely powerful. Again, thanks to Q on Metastock using this beautiful aggregator Fire. I mentioned earlier, probably nobody has used Fire like Q has used. I am seeing a question, by the way, from Raj. Which time frame is important for this analysis? The analysis that I am sharing and the trades that I listed in the Excel, they were all swing trades. They were not day trades. They were not long-term investments. So the primary time frame for all those trades were daily. When I am deciding a trade, I am applying the trade setup checklist, and the checklists ask me to look at weekly, daily both. Weekly provides a backdrop. Daily is the trading interval for the Q swing trades. For the global index, I look at it using weekly, daily both. Just now, I just looked at it using daily, but I could click on the top menu bar. It's called custom menu bar in Metastock. By the way, may I divert a little bit and make a comment? If you go to Metastock website, Metastock YouTube channel, you will see hundreds of videos on how to learn Metastock. And recently they launched Metastock 18. I have very good friends there for many years. And there were many videos on Metastock 18. But I felt that sometimes there is simpler things that got missed out in those videos. They highlight the big changes. But for a regular trader, the simple things probably matter a lot. And what are those simple things? This custom menu bar. In Q systems, everything that I need is here. It's like using a kaleidoscope, changing it, turning it, and looking at the same stock in different way. I'll explain probably if I have time. Looking at the same instrument from different angles. Never looking at same signal or similar signals twice, but maybe looking at volatility squeeze, then looking at overextended or not from different templates, everything from the custom menu bar. Another small thing allow me to highlight. I have used hundreds of systems literally on many platforms. Now, when I'm opening the charts, not only the Q charts, but also the other Q system, you will see how smoothly I'm transitioning from one to another, be it from one chart to another chart or from fundamental to industry rotation to technical charts. And how perfectly they are spaced. It's easy to look at. They are perfectly spaced to my preference. If you have different preference, you may space this differently. Every time I open a chart, it will open with that spacing. Also look at the way the panels are sized. There are many platforms where you have to keep on fiddling with the sizing of the panel, spacing of the bars. to make it appropriate to your liking. Metastock, and these things, Metastock doesn't highlight in their videos, at least not that I have seen any video like that. But these are small things that make trading simple. And what does it mean simple? Meaning I am not focusing on the platform. I'm focusing on what matters most. That's the market. And I know small things probably to Metastock people, but to a trader, those matter a lot. Now let's come back to this extremely powerful and one of its kind USA market breadth total view. A single chart can contain so much visual information, and that information or insight comes from two composites, NASDAQ, NYSE, and four major indices, Russell 2000, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones Industrials. I will not go through all the signals. There are hours of masterclass videos on it, but I'll highlight few things. Remember, I told I was buying here, and that is what I mentioned in the market recap video. Why? This magenta candle is something called, it's a name, it's called Phoenix, and thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward who designed it, may him rest in peace. This is a very bearish signal. If a very bearish signal comes near the swing high or market top, I'm shorting here. But when it comes at the bottom, it may be a sign of exhaustion. And though it was very bearish, if you see the count, that is accumulation distribution count, in this case it is below the candle is distribution, that was only one, and the distribution was happening in NASDAQ 100. What is NASDAQ 100? Large cap or mega cap tech stocks. So looking at it, I'm combining different insights. It was very bearish, but the bearishness was concentrated on large cap, mega cap tech stocks. What happened next day? Let's look at next day. A down arrow came. This signal is sell everything, even those of value. There is a name. We could have a name for it. Bingo. Again, thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward. That was a day people sold everything, even those of value. Who does that at a market bottom? Not professionals. What happened next day? We had an accumulation count of 2. Where did it come from? NASDAQ 100 and Dow Jones Industrials. Next day, accumulation count of 4 came from many angles. At the bottom, it was oversold. When people were selling everything, I started to buy. Because of the possibility of exhaustion, and there was a bullish divergence in this breadth indicator. Every color, every line, every arrow, every danger signal you see here, they are not on a stock. They are on the entire market, looking at the market from different angles. In this case, many different angles. Now, new high, new low percentage is another internal breadth indicator, and because they are internal indicators of breadth, they tend to be leading. In technical analysis, it's not easy to find leading indicators, but these are leading indicators. New high, new low was showing bullish divergence, and I analyzed some of the other charts, other signals also. So I started to buy. Incidentally, this is where this very unique Hindenburg, is a big name, Hindenburg, thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward again, came. That was the time to start to look for shorting. These arrows were telling irrational exuberance on the buy side, just like the down arrow is irrational exuberance on the sell side. Sell everything, buy everything, then danger signal, start to short. This was in November, isn't it? November 2021. What about the COVID crisis? Let's scroll back. This was COVID crisis time. Prior to that, there was series of irrational exuberance. Then the danger signal, but yellow color is alert, but not yet time to short. And then see that distribution counts 3, 4, and then everything fell apart 6. This was the time to start to short. And when sell everything comes at the top, start sell everything literally. If it comes at the bottom, look for an exhaustion. It was immediately followed by bullish accumulation 5 all across the board. That was the time to start buying. And there was bullish divergence also. Now, this is a market breadth total view. What is the picture now? Let's look at it. This is a very powerful picture. Let's look at it. It is still in a downtrend. What is the candle chart? It is not a stock. It is a USA total view index comprised of these 6 items, still in a downtrend. If I wanted to look at it using weekly daily charts, remember everything is on the custom menu. Yes, weekly is still in a downtrend, though we have a very bullish shape candle 1 week ago. This week has just started. I was buying here, I was buying here. Now it is already significantly above swing low. There is no easy buying opportunity. Are there still buying opportunities? I'll try to find some. But I would like to buy at low risk points, not at this point. That's why in the weekend market recap I mentioned, in fact, from Friday onwards, I'm not buying stocks anymore in the USA market. What will need to happen for me to buy again? That's a good question to ask so that we can anticipate and be ready. If now market goes sideways for a while in a narrow range and then breaks out to the upside, that's the time to buy. What's the other alternative? Let it come all the way to the trend line support, go up from there. That will be a bounce long setup. If it breaks out of the narrow range, it will be a range breakout. The other alternative possibility is let it come down, but not all the way to the trend line support, make a higher low and go up again. That will be a trend following flow setup. We have only few setups, one for each market condition. We can apply the checklist in mind and I can anticipate the trade. And again, this is market total view. Currently, I'm not going to trade anything. What if I wanted to know how NASDAQ versus NYSE is doing from market breadth? With a single click, now I can see NASDAQ versus NYSE, tech stocks versus non-tech stocks. That's also in a downtrend. But look at the bullish divergence in new high low, both in NYSE and NASDAQ. That was also another pointer for me to start to buy. There are a few other signals. I will not look at all of them. Now, currently market is at a swing high. Whether you look at NASDAQ or NYSE or total view, I want to go back to the total view for 1 more minute. There are 2 important signals, growth versus value, magenta line, and small cap versus large cap. Growth versus value was declining, so it was preferred to avoid growth by value. But last couple of days, growth versus value is going up. So we may start to look at some growth stocks. In fact, the last few trade ideas I shared, some of them are growth stocks like PayPal, Facebook maybe. I shared both of them recently, both were long, both were in profit. And small cap versus large cap, I see it is declining. So small cap may be avoided, large cap may be preferred. So that is small cap versus large cap. What about mega cap? Let's look at mega cap index. This is mega cap index. Not one mega cap stock, is top 20 mega cap stocks in the USA market. It made a triple bottom, one false downside breakout here. Now it is going up. We could buy here. In fact, I suggested PayPal, Facebook somewhere near the bottom. Booked profit. In some of them, Facebook may still be in play. You may get the detail from the Excel. But now it is already above the swing high. It's looking bullish because it has broken above a trend line resistance that was here earlier, but it's too far above the swing low, no low risk buy point. But mega caps are doing well, and we saw sorry, this is mega caps doing well, and we saw large caps are also doing well relative to small caps. So all those insights are going into mind. Now let's look at the market, again at market level from a different angle, probably only possible in Q running on Metastock, that is the technical breadth. Let's look at the weekly. Let's look at the longer interval first. Weekly interval, balance between bears and bulls. All signals, today is just Monday, 67% still bullish, strength signal 95%, trend continuation 63. Today, as of today, the weekly reversals are very bearish. This is weekly signals. They have some trade setups. These are the different Q trade setups, and then some other useful signals. There are other insights. I'll not go to all the signals, but let's look at daily interval. This is as of today. And I mentioned if you like Metastock Explorer, this Q Finder is supercharged use of that Explorer insight in a visual form. What do I see here today? Today market is actually neutral in terms of technical signals, and technical signals are important. Buying a stock, we make profit only if the stock goes up. We want to manage the trade so that risk is small. So the technical signals give us all the insights. That is neutral in terms of all signals. Trend continuation, you may say it is neutral. Strength was very bullish, but reversal is bearish. So when we have a day with very bullish strength, then sharp bearish reversal, together they actually become bearish. And I can see number of reversal signals in absolute terms is higher than gap up. So together we had a reversal day. What are the kinds of reversals that we got? Trend line touch and come down 5.3%, bounce from trend line resistance 2.8%, sideways pivot declining from resistance 2%, headwind reversal at top of a trend following long position 0.8%, and reversal candle. So you have different categories of reversal signals, trend continuation and strength signals that are summarized in the pie charts. So if I wanted to look for trades, if I'm willing to take short trades, looking at this large percentage of reversal signals, I could look for a box short setup, bounce short setup, or headwind short setup. Or if I am still bullish, looking at the weekly interval, I could try to get some bullish trades as well. And remember, in March, I think other than General Electric, all my trades were bullish trades and 88% made profit. Now, if you again focus on the pie charts of today, all signals 50-50. So we may look for either directional trades, bullish or bearish. The market ETFs itself are somewhat above swing high. I'm not going to buy them, but individual stocks may give buy setup. How can I find them? I can do top down or bottom up both. Let's go to top down. Let's look at the sectors. Which sectors are up today most? I am interested in the top 20%. So today up energy and materials, but energy I want to avoid. It may be too much driven by news coming out of Ukraine. Materials is strong. Remember the trade that I exited today, I think GGB or BBG, that was a material stock. Materials is second strongest today. Or if I used acceleration, I could look at utilities. Interesting. Utilities was weak for a while, but it is most accelerating. Second is financials. Interesting, because both of them were weak for a while. And this is probably another secret behind the success of my trades. I am looking ahead. If it's a game of soccer, I am going where the ball is going after some time, not where the ball is now. So I'm not only looking at energy, which had been strong for a long time here, little bit deep in the middle. By the way, it is showing 12 months to 1 day, 12 months to 1 month, then 10 day, 5 day, 2 day, 1 day, and then in real time performance, and then acceleration, then the actual moves. Usually I focus on the scorecard, just the colors, not even the scorecard. So I am focusing on where the ball is going, and utilities, financials may be appropriate, but sectors sometimes hide the strength of industries. So let's look at all the industries, get the strongest. These are the top 20%, checkered background. Where are they? If I look at the sectors, they are in different sectors: real estate, materials, energy, financials. if I do the analysis based on acceleration, you will see something interesting. These are top 20% accelerating. Highlight them. See, many of them, you can see from here, they are not the strongest or were not the strongest earlier. Just now, starting to show strength, and that acceleration is showing up here. So again, I'm a little bit ahead of others. This is another secret of that. I'm not only looking at which ones are strong, I may buy from them. Those will be trend following trades probably, or pullback trades. Then I'm also looking at accelerating ones. Those may be reversal trades or breakout from a low level. So I could highlight these industries and then drill down to the constituent stocks. What did we see just now? Growth stocks are starting to strengthen. Earlier, value was stronger. So let's look at high growth stocks. Okay, one single click. Now in the fundamental scorecard, I have all high growth stocks. See some of their percentage move. Y is 1. I haven't looked at it. I'm just looking at it now. Live system. Let's open the chart. See how I'm navigating between the systems. From industry sector rotation, I went to, okay, there is not enough data. Why? Allegheny. Oh, Allegheny. Allegheny was taken over by Berkshire Hathaway. So let's avoid that stock. They just got bought out by Warren Buffett. Let's look at the next stock, UFCS. Well, this is looking interesting. Now, when I say interesting, it is looking bullish, but does it have a trade setup? That will be decided by the Q trade checklists. And I don't like to buy this stock. It is already a bit high above the upper boundary, but it is bullish. I could have bought it here. That's the Q technique. But it is looking bullish. We found a bullish stock. Now, just before this session, I did look at some stocks that are in strong or accelerating industries that have good fundamentals in one way or other, and they have acceptable technical setup in one way or other. Let me look at those stocks. One of them is actually a steel stock, ArcelorMittal, and now I'm using Q Vital to show you the fundamental scorecard, evaluating that in real time. So I entered the ticker symbol, is now retrieving based on ticker symbol the definitive code. Everything is based on definitive data. Earlier it used to be called Reuters data. And when I'm running the webinars, many platforms are running, it may be a little slow, bear with me. First it retrieved some data about the stock, ArcelorMittal. Now it is going to retrieve the PR stocks, 26 PRs. Third step, it is retrieving data about the 26 PR stocks and calculating a scorecard. It will take few more seconds. I don't like to store data on my laptop and then sync up with desktop or other computers. Everything is 100% real time. Look at the stock scorecard and see the striking similarity between the ones that I shared publicly in March so far and this stock. Undervalued stock, great earnings quality, extremely high earnings growth, high revenue growth, funds are accumulating. If you want to put emphasis on analyst upgrades, I don't. So let's ignore that for my trading at least, but this is important. Steadily going up. Today also up by 5%. A very high, 92% of these 26 peer stocks in steel industry are up today. That's some stock I would like to buy. How is its industry? One single click. Let's look up its industry rotation scorecard. Top 20%. Immediately, I know from the color code, checkered background, up by 3%. If I wanted to look at the graph, sharp increase in score or the strength of the industry, alternate industry also sharp increase in strength, up by significant percentage. I have great industry strength, great fundamentals. Let's look at its charts. See how I'm navigating between the programs. ArcelorMittal, let's look at it using weekly daily. Why I look at it using weekly daily? Because I can apply the trade checklists in my mind. What it is telling me, it was inside a triangle pattern created by trendline resistance, trendline support, broke out, in fact had a gap up open, weekly backdrop bearish, created a base and going up from there. Earlier it hit extended downside with possible bearish exertion, then it gave a bull release, or sorry, not bull release, then it became bullish, and more importantly it broke out today. So how did I find this stock? I could find it in top down. Now let's look at this stock here. From the fundamental analysis, I could open the chart. I did that. But if I wanted to look at its technical signals in Finder, remember I showed you Finder technical breadth, but I could also look at individual stock signals and setups from Finder by clicking another button. What it is telling for ArcelorMittal here, MT is the ticker. This is today's data, up by 5%. We have a breakout long. This is the bullish daily tab. We have a gap long setup. And I could cross-reference different signals. So if I wanted to look at alternative signals, I see there is something called PSAR reversal. If I wanted to look at weekly signal, it is at a very high price level, but it went up. So I could cross-reference all those technical signals from Finder, or I could look at the chart different way. I could do that. So this is giving a possible breakout long setup. I know I am beyond 1 hour. Let me share one more possible trade idea, and you will see once again how I am combining all the dimensions in real time. This is KMI. If you apply the checklist that I showed on my website, weekly backdrop bullish, daily higher high, higher low, ribbon has a green color, that's a trend following long setup right now. KMI, Kinder Morgan. Let's look at its fundamentals. Again, it is connecting with Refinitiv, getting data, doing all the calculation. I'm using Excel as a front end. The engine is under the hood. It's not visible. It is not editable. Engine is hidden, does all the hard work. It presents on Excel as a front end, and all these action buttons are there. There is a tooltip possible on these action buttons. Thanks to a suggestion from Bobby from Metastock, I incorporated that. It's listening to Refinitiv. It has sent a request to Refinitiv. It's listening. Give it a few more seconds and I may take a sip of coffee using that time. It's 6:10 a.m. my time. I woke up early. While it is doing that, why don't I use the time to show you some other interesting stock? Different industry. Intentionally, I'm showing you stocks from different industries. I showed one from steel, ArcelorMittal, MT. This is KMI, utilities. Okay, it has got the basic information. Let me highlight the inside information we have here. It's still doing some calculation, but I'll continue. Medium valuation, not great. Earnings growth, not great. However, funds are accumulating. Insiders are buying, if you put some emphasis on that. Analysts are bullish. Well, I don't usually look at that, but fund accumulation is important. And why did I choose this stock is this reason. 6.22% dividend yield. That itself is good enough. Oil and gas storage and transportation industry, see the industry strength. 89% of peer stocks went up today. If I wanted to look at the industry graph, one single click. Strengthening further, up by significant percentage. If I want to look at the rotation, top 20%. That is how easily decisions are made. I mentioned I might show you one more stock from a different industry. Let's do that. Let's choose a high growth stock. I'm looking at my sticky notes. High growth stock. Let's choose a food processing stock, Darling. That's a nice name. And while it is retrieving the fundamentals, why don't we look at its charts? Darling International. Weekly backdrop bullish. Daily higher high, higher low, going up. Ribbon has a green color. This is a trend following long setup. Today it has big move up 3, very bullish momentum. Earlier, right at the bottom, it hit overextended to the downside when the bullish reversal, possible reversal signal came, created a double bottom, went up. We could buy here, but now we are identifying here. That's the benefit of advantage of swing trading. We may buy multiple times, book profit, buy multiple times, book profit. And this is high dividend yield. That may be also a reason for me at least to buy Darling International. Let's go back to its fundamentals. Fundamentals I mentioned. No, sorry, this is not high. This is sorry. This is not high dividend. High dividend yield was the last stock. This is Darling International. I just showed the technical trend following trend. Let's get the fundamentals. It calculated the scorecard. Very high earnings growth. I mentioned high growth stock. Medium valuation, but high earnings growth. Funds are accumulating. You will notice in March, most of the trades I shared, I also focused on fund accumulation because many people were bearish. I took extra caution. Otherwise, I am fine to buy either based on value or earnings growth. This is agricultural products. If I look at the industry, among the top 20% industries today, up by 2%. You can see how the industry strength is transitioning from weakness to strength. So that is how I do the 360 degrees analysis, top down, bottom up, fundamental first. And that is exactly how I shared the trade ideas in March, of which 88% made a profit so far. I am beyond 1 hour point. I will not like to take more time. If there is any question, I will be happy to answer them. You may actually ask me questions on Metastock too. I'm not bad in answering Metastock questions. And of course on Q systems, and very importantly, the techniques and approaches. What were the secrets then again? What we started with the topic, what was the difference between my trades and other people's, most other people? One is I could confidently take reversal trades. How could I confidently take reversal trades? Because I established a directional bias. How did I do that? I looked at the market from different angles, from market's internal health or breadth, from sector industry strength breadth. I looked at bullish divergence. I could buy reversal trades in something important, in fundamentally strong stocks that funds were accumulating, and in industries that were also strong, were starting to come up from behind. That was the secret of success, and Q on Metastock allowed me to do all that in real time. Not only for USA market, you can do it in global markets. Okay, with that, I will be happy to pass the control back to Bobby. Thanks everyone for attending today's session.
Yeah, thanks, Sagar, for coming on today and doing your presentation with us. Let's see here. I think that's probably going to wrap everything up. We'll go ahead, and just end things there. And if people want to reach out, your contact's up on the page and they can reach back out to you. Thanks again for coming out here and doing this for us. Always happy to have you on, Sagar.
I'm always happy to join you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye for now.